position that they could have chosen for his final game. His son talked about this. Lee Corso's son was telling, Dan is his name. He told the Tallahassee Democrat, as a family of Seminoles, yes, it was disappointing, but at the same time, it'll be fun to watch his last game day in headgear in Columbus. So Lee Corso went to Florida State. Obviously, it sounds like son did too. Everybody else did. Either way.
What they play Alabama for game one? Right?
Yeah. So they had a game they could have said, let's go there, but
well, you know whose fault that is? Florida State's, because if they didn't, what were they, 2-10?
Yeah.
If they weren't 2-10 last season, he probably would have loved to go to Florida State. But if he goes there and puts on the Florida State headgear, he'd be lying to himself and conning himself into believing that something that's not going to happen. They're not going to beat Alabama.
yeah.
And I can't wait to see this quarterback that's talking all this trash.
Oh, Well, I forget what is his name? We'll have to look it up. The Florida State, he transferred from Boston College.
Talked about him yesterday, and I can't think. It's Castellanos.
I don't remember his first name, though.
Is it Thomas?
Sure. Tom Castellanos. I don't know what his name is.
I gotta see that.
Anyway, he's the new Florida State quarterback. You'll hear more about him, I'm quite sure, as we get close to that game, because he had lots to say about Alabama. Here's a question I have for you on Lee Corso. Because obviously, if you've watched in the last few years, it was a sentimental thing. They all didn't want to tell him it was time to go, but they had him on for, maybe 2 or 3 minutes at a time. He had trouble putting words together. I mean, the guy's in his 80s. I feel bad for him that he is at that state of life. Mm-hmm. It's too bad he's not the Lee Corso of a few years ago. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that he's going to get to go out it appears the way he wants to. I did find it interesting that the son had something to say. Lee Corso has had nothing to say about this. And it does make me wonder sometimes, like, how much is Lee Corso, like, able to say something at this point? Because when you watch him on game day, it is a struggle for him.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for him. But I also think maybe if Dan Corso wanted his dad to go out the way he wanted to, maybe a couple years ago, they should have told him, Dad, it's time to go. Like, as opposed to waiting until ESPN had to kind of say, it's now time for you to go.
This has been a few years in the making where people have been like, the first year it was like, okay. Then the next year I was like, all right, like, you got to pull it. Because I think they started, like, cutting his segments.
Oh, they barely had him on.
Yeah.
They would bring him out for the headgear, and they'd have him on maybe once or twice in a 3-hour show. They'd have him on maybe for 5 minutes beyond that.
Yeah, so, like, he knew.
I would hope so, right? But
everybody kind of knew. Like, that's why they got Pat McAfee, because it was like they needed some juice.
Yes, they had to have. Well, Desmond Howard's not going to do anything for you. He's just going to sit there and say Michigan's great, and then they're going to say, what about anybody else? And you're like, I don't know, because I don't care.
He just plays up the villain thing, and he just like to say things to get reactions. He does.
People. You're exactly right. I do feel like that show. Now it'll be interesting to see where they go after the headgear pick, because that was always a kind of a culminating thing that obviously the last few years has been a little rough to watch.
Yeah,
now it's going to be gone permanently, but we know that Lee Corso, if you wanted to say from a historic standpoint, College Game Day started the first broadcast where he did the headgear pick was in Columbus. Mm. So the fact he's going to come back to Columbus and have a chance to put on Brutus's Buckeye head again, that's he
is the question.
He'd be stupid not to. I mean, come on.
Well,
what are we talking about?
We'll see. I wouldn't be shocked if he put the long horns on.
Yeah, we'll see who their guest picker is. If it's Matthew McConaughey,
they better not do that.
You never. I would hope not. You're here. You're not down in Austin.
You would have to pick somebody from. It should be Little Bow Wow.
I don't know what the right. Now that's Reynoldsburg's finest right there. Yeah.
Little Bow Wow.
He's not, but isn't he just Bow Wow now? He's not Little Bow Wow.
And that's the problem. When he was Little Bow Wow, he was on top of the world. When he became just Bow Wow, that's when people kind of.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of, I don't know how that works when you're like a child star and then you have to grow up and still be like, no. Like Macaulay Culkin, he's, I'm sure, doing fine for himself. But
he was just Joe Burrow for Halloween a couple years ago.
Yeah, I did. That's right. And it's crazy to think that, like,
he looked kind of like him too. He looked just like Joe.
I know. Yeah, God, Macaulay Culkin's probably pushing like 45 or 50 at this point.
Yeah,
right. Like he's got to be getting close. That's insane. No, I'm glad to see that College Game Day is going to try to move on from Lee Corso. Not because I think I don't want anybody to have to quit this business if they don't want to do it. But at the same time, there have been a lot of people who are a lot more talented or who had a lot more to say than maybe Lee Corso has the last few years, who didn't get a shot because they wanted to keep running out Lee Corso because it was sentimental for people on that show.
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point you have to do what's right by the audience, and I don't think Lee Corso was serving the audience.
So do they?
As tough as that is to hear, that's the truth.
Are they going to replace him with someone?
I don't know what the plan is yet, but honestly, what would they need to replace him with? Because
he was
the bulk of the show wasn't him. Yeah. So they'll just move on from that. And yeah, at some point, I would guess, I would wonder if Kirk Herbstreit's going to keep doing it. I would wonder if some of the other people who have done it for so long.
Do you see a world where Big Noon catches game day?
Oh, absolutely, I do. Yeah. I mean, I think if you watch the two shows, like hearing Urban talk football and some of the other guys that they have on there, like it's night and day difference compared to the goofball show that they have there.
I like Nick Saban when he curses.
Saban's good.
Ohio
but
State fans
it's more fun watching him get riled up.
Negative B.
Yeah, well, you know what? He was proven right. Because some of us who had that negative BS, we got it handed to us, and that's fine. I will gladly take Ryan Day's apology for losing to Michigan 4 straight times. I will gladly take that apology as here's a national championship. Sorry about all that. We're all good. We're good now. I'm with you. Jackets have 2 picks in the NHL draft. Don Waddell spoke to the media yesterday. You'll hear what he had to say next. It's T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic
from the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there. Well, a heads up for folks who live or commute in the downtown area this morning. We have a road closure we want to let you know about. Washington Boulevard between Broad Street to Main Street will be closed starting today, 9 a.m. until July 4th. This is because of Red, White, and Boom. The first of many road closures happening into next week. So make sure to take this detour instead. Take Front Road, then hop on down south, then over on Main Street will be the best alternate route for you there. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
One of the things I had decided when I started the company was we were going to build the best window possible. We were going to give the best service possible, and I think we've accomplished that. Our reputation is built on taking care of people and building a great window and then taking care of it afterwards. It's just a darn good window.
See for yourself. Visit RosatiWindows.com.
He shoots, he scores! It's a great time of year to be a fan, but the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. Maryhaven is here to help with in-person, virtual, and group options. Learn more at maryhaven.com.
I can't wait to meet her! Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
That's our us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH. That's our us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us.
It's child's play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill, hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Evan Cohen here. Typically, you don't associate speed with quality. For example, you don't go through a fast food drive-thru and expect a gourmet meal to go. Well, here's an exception. If you're hiring, you can find candidates fast who are also extremely qualified for your job. Just use ZipRecruiter. With ZipRecruiter's advanced resume database, you can proactively find qualified candidates in minutes. No wonder why ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL. Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. We'll start with baseball here. Yesterday afternoon, the Guardians dropped the rubber match to the Blue Jays, losing 6-0. Looking ahead to tonight, Cleveland will continue the homestand when they host the St. Louis Cardinals for the first of three, starting at 7:10. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, after an off day on Thursday, the Reds will be back on the diamond tonight when they host the Padres at 7:10 in the first of a three-game series. In hockey, the Blue Jackets made a trade on Thursday, sending backup goaltender Daniil Tarasov to the Florida Panthers in exchange for a fifth-round pick, number 160 overall this weekend. Tonight, we've got the first round of the 2025 NHL Draft, where the Jackets are slated to pick at number 14 and 20 overall. We'll have the Blue Jackets draft show for you right here on The Fan this evening, starting at 6 o'clock. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or check him out online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan.
Two men, one appendix. This is T-Bone and Tyvis.
That one should say, for now. At some point, Tyvis is going to have to lose his appendix, too.
I hope that's not the case.
It's not bad. I'm just letting you know. If it happens, if the doc tells you got to get the appendix out, it really wasn't that bad. Pretty quick surgery.
You know what? I'm good, though.
Yeah, keep it if you can. I'm just saying. So tonight, Jackets, they've got two picks. We'll see if they keep both of them, or if maybe they drop one or both to go get some players. That's all coming up tonight. 6 p.m. right here on The Fan. Our coverage starts. Bob McElligott, Dylan Tyre, and then 7 o'clock is when the actual draft starts. Jackets are picking 14th and 20th. Yesterday, Don Waddell, GM of the Jackets, spoke to the media about a variety of topics. This was his pre-draft media availability. So I've got a lot of sound. Tyvis, would you like to hear sound from Don Waddell?
I would love to hear from Don Waddell.
Thank God you said that, because that's what I had planned. If we didn't do that, then I don't know what we'd do. Here he is talking about what kind of draft strategy he plans on employing. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. He doesn't lay a lot of his cards on the table, but I think it's insightful to hear him talk about how he looks at the draft heading into it.
I'd have to say that you listen to every deal, and I go back my years as a GM 20th year, whatever, I've made a lot of deals on draft day, both for players and for, what happens in the draft. You might have, let's say the 14th pick that we have, we might have 3 or 4 guys that we're very comfortable with. So you say, we move back to 17 or 18, we know we're going to get one of those guys and pick up another asset. So yeah, there's some strategically thinking behind it. But I'm also a believer, if there's a guy on that list and you really want him, you just step up and take him.
All right. So, I mean, you listen to that, it almost sounds a little bit like, oh, we're probably taking somebody with these picks, or maybe we're moving back slightly. But
it makes me think that the first pick they taking somebody, the second pick they can listen to offers. And if somebody gives them a sweet enough offer, they'll move back a couple picks.
I still wouldn't be surprised if there was a scenario where they threw together some kind of deal involving a pick, a player with a ginormous contract that maybe a team is hesitant to take on, like maybe one goaltender whose name is synonymous with a famous singer.
Oh my god!
Or
you really hate the guy.
No, but I think that's the type of move you make where it's like you want to clear some of that money off. You want to try to move on from Elvis, start fresh get a better goaltender. I think you could do that by pairing him, a pick, and maybe a prospect, and then maybe you do a pick swap, you do something else. I don't know, but I'm just saying that's me talking, no inside information. That I could even see being a possibility. But when it just comes to acquiring players, yeah, for sure. I could see them packaging a player and a prospect to get a guy who helps you right now. Listen to those quotes, though. It sounds like he'd be just fine sitting where they are, which is good negotiating. Because you want teams to believe you want to stay where you are, and they're going to have to move you off that position with a great offer.
I think you have to be prepared. As a GM, you got to be prepared for every scenario. You got to be prepared. First, you have to be, all right, we're comfortable. If this guy is here, this is the pick. These guys, this is the list of guys that we want. If they're available, this is who we're taking with the picks. That's the first thing. Secondly is I'm listening to offers. If somebody gives me an offer that's sweet enough, we will be willing to trade those picks for whatever. So I think that he's just doing his due diligence of being a good general manager and preparing himself for every scenario. And he's talking through every scenario, and he's trying to figure out what's the best way to make this team better. Is it trading the picks? Is it making the pick?
Yeah, and we'll see what he does tonight. But yeah, it's a lot to play with here. He also brought up the fact that no trades have happened yet with the Jackets, and he has a reason that he thinks that has happened.
Certainly, that's been some of the discussions to date. I would say this, that if somebody steps up with the right move prior to that, we would love to do it prior, not have to sit there and wait for that pick, because my amateur guys say, well, I love that player that's there too. So, but yeah, that happens all the time. We've had lots of discussions the last few weeks with a lot of teams, and there's certainly some teams that don't even have first round picks. They're waiting to see who might be available. They'll start with 10, 11, 12, try to work their way through. Sure.
Yeah. So if a guy starts falling, Jackets they got 2 different spots where that could land a team that's desperate to get someone.
What's the picks they had?
14 and 20.
14 and 20.
So this draft, actually I have a quote from him too, talking about kind of the areas he wants to address this weekend, but I don't remember if it's in that quote.
Right, one of the defensemen.
Yep, that is definitely one.
I'm already knowing.
You know that.
Come on now.
But I know that there was a quote he had, and maybe it's in this cut, I can't remember, where he talks about how outside in this draft, and most of the draft experts kind of say it's that top 7 are all at one level, and then after 7, it's kind of wide open.
But there is no Connor Bedard in this draft.
Well, I don't remember.
Is there a bona fide number 1 guy?
There probably is. I haven't looked because I know the Jackets aren't going after him. But but the other part of that is it doesn't matter because they're not in a position to deal with that. At least from a Jackets perspective, I don't necessarily care. What I do know is he's saying that once you get past pick 7, then you get a bunch of guys who Jackets may rate the guy 30th, and some other teammates say, no, that's our 15th best guy, and he's there, and you have pick 14. We kind of think we should go get him.
Well,
that kind of stuff can happen too. So I'm hopeful to see what the Jackets do tonight.
If you can find a game changer or a guy that can really boost your roster from 14 to 20, that tells you the mind of a good GM, because often you see so many times that this guy went 15th in the draft, but he turned out to be the second or third best player in the draft. So that just tell you that now the GM has to have that eye for talent. You have to trust your scouting department, and they have to be able to be like, this guy will translate to what we're trying to do, and he's going to be successful. And you're it's all a dice roll for all of any pick that's past 7, obviously. But I'm intrigued to see who they get at 14, if they make the pick at 14, and see if his game can translate to him being a really good player for the Blue Jackets.
Jackets are drafting Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic during a Taco Bell commercial, I believe. That's what's. I hope. I'd love it if they could swing 2 of those if they keep the picks. That'd be awesome. But here's what Don Waddell said they want to address: areas that he wants to get improved this weekend, not just with the draft, but overall with everything that could happen this weekend.
Well, I've said all along, I think there's a couple of areas that we'd like to be deeper and better, up front and on the back end. Obviously, if we signed all our own guys, we were pretty comfortable how we ended the season with that group. So we're pretty open to any position, to be honest with you. And we will look at, and we have looked at, I would love to be able to show you guys this book I keep on all the conversations, because I write everything down, and it's pages of players, either mostly obviously through trades, and then of course you got the free agent list. But I feel comfortable that we're going to be able to do a few things that are going to make our hockey team better, and that's our goal. And you got to remember, it doesn't stop on July 1st either, because there's a few guys that we signed later on, JBR, guys that played, had a pretty good impact with our hockey club last year.
Yeah. James Van Riemsdyk, who he said there, JVR, he's one of the guys that is an unrestricted free agent again this year. They have to decide what they're going to do with him. He's older, but he was a great contributor on this team. Justin Danforth, they have to figure out what they're doing with him.
Does teams not sign free agents until after the draft?
It's July 1st is when the free agent period starts. So they're trying to get guys, they're trying to get deals done prior to that, obviously, with the guys who have been on the team. They'd like to get that stitched up. Dante Fabro is a guy that they have to figure out, defenseman who I think they would like to keep. Provorov is another one that he's an unrestricted free agent, and obviously he's been very good for the Jackets, but you have to figure out how much they want to pay him, how much he's going to get. And then you've got Dmitry Voronkov as a restricted free agent that obviously is a little easier for them to do, but they need to get that deal done because there is no circumstance where Voronkov can walk, in my mind.
All their money is on hold because right now they're trying to get Mitch.
You're in. You're all in on Mitch Marner, and I love it.
I'm trying to make the splash move. It's like, I'm telling you, he would be equivalent to Kevin Durant coming to Golden State.
Yeah, you know what? I hope you're right. One, I hope it happens, and two, I hope he is as good as what you're saying there, because then that means multiple championships.
We need a right winger. We need that. He'd be perfect.
Who's our Draymond Green? Who's going to kick people in the junk? That's the question.
That's Olivier.
Matthew Olivier?
Yeah, Matthew Olivier. Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
I don't know if he's kicking people, but yeah.
He's knocking them out. I tell you that.
That's right. I like that. And it's good that we have a guy like that. We need that because he's also skilled. Like, he can do some stuff with the puck, but he also will mess you up if you get in his way. Where does Kevin Stefanski rank as a head coach in the NFL? One outlet says he's top 10. We'll discuss next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, we are closely monitoring a really big crash happening over on our southeast side. US 33 westbound, just beyond Columbus Lancaster Road. All lanes are closed in that westbound direction. Of course, this is just past Lancaster and right before Canal Winchester this morning. A great detour you'll want to know about. Hop off US 33 and take Lithopolis Road instead. Then you can head on 33 westbound, take that and continue it that way, or continue on Groveport Road to 270, depending on where you want to go. I'm 10 TV's Bryn Albizu with your fan traffic.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $494 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Used car prices are sky high. Families paying top dollar today. Don't waste time selling it yourself. Any car, any truck, any year, we want it now. No games, no waiting, just cash. Get to Valley before the market drops.
ValleySuperstore.com. Excuse me, did someone say jackpot? The Ohio Lottery's Mega Millions jackpot is up to $348 million. You heard that right, $348 million. Jackpots start at $50 million and grow faster than ever. And drawings are every Tuesday and Friday. With the new built-in multiplier, all non-jackpot prizes are multiplied between 2 and 10 times. Play Mega Millions today. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Morning Juice is live on YouTube. Weekday mornings starting at 6. Or on demand whenever you want it. Yeah, whenever. Bobby Carpenter's at your beck and call. And Tito's there too, you know, to clean the toilets. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are still on that same weather pattern with wake-up temperatures in the 70s, giving way to afternoon highs in the low to mid-90s, with feels like getting up near 100 degrees. We'll have partly to mostly sunny skies with scattered showers and thunderstorms like we've seen over the last couple of days. For tonight, we will see those lows down into the 70s, and then for Saturday, a little bit cooler with our highs in the upper 80s with chances in showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvis is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
When Tyvis looks at Bone, he sees the future. Bald, fat, white. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Ask Tyvis anything coming up at 7:30. You can tweet us your Ask Tyvis questions at Bone and Tyvis 971 on Twitter or in the YouTube chat. Just go to YouTube, search 971 The Fan, click on T-Bone and Tyvis. You'll be right there. Tyvis, what's up?
Well, you know, today is a very special day. You know, we call it A-Shot Fridays Because if you suffer from low testosterone, you gotta. How do you know? Well, once you hit your 30s, like me, you get your early 30s, mid 30s, early 40s. That's when you don't see that you start losing 2 to 3% of your testosterone production every year. It happens gradually, and before you know it, you don't feel like the same man. I don't feel like who I was, T-Bone, when I was at Ohio State and when I was in the league. You go in there and I'm lifting, but I'm not seeing those gains. I'm tired after long days of work. Obviously, I've put on a couple of pounds. It's not the same. So I had to go see my guys at Tri-State Men's Health, and they've done a really great job of helping people cure these. If you're like me and you're suffering from these same symptoms, you can go to tristatemenshealth.com, take the low T quiz on their website. It's a simple 10-question quiz with yes or no answers. It takes 2 minutes to get it done. It's really quick. You can schedule a consult with Tri-State Men's Health. They will do your lab work and have your results within 30 minutes. They'll have a licensed medical provider who will review your results with you and discuss your options, and you will make the decision together with their medical team. The cost of the appointment is $99, which includes a medical consult, a TNPSA test, and if you sign up for testosterone treatments the day of your appointment, your visit is free. There are 2 locations right here in Columbus. One is in Hilliard. The other one's in Westerville. That's the one that I like to go to. Most men wait a year or longer. There's no need to wait. Call them today at 800-900-9654 or visit tristatemenshealth.com.
So the PFF outlet, that is Pro Football Focus, they have their little graphics they put out all the time to generate a lot of conversation because it's the off season. We need stuff to, we just like to talk about football, right? People talk about football all the time. And anytime you can debate a topic and argue about it with your friends on the group chat, at the office, wherever, they know this stuff gets clicks and it gets views. So I'm getting sucked in on that today because I saw something that I thought was not a little. I think it's egregious.
Well, they do a list every day, right?
Yeah, they're always putting something out there. Yeah. So Pro Football Focus, the one they had a couple days ago was top 10 returning head coaches in the NFL. Dalton Wasserman put this out. Number 1 on the list is Andy Reid. Big shock. Sean Payton is number 2. That one is a bit of a shock to me, but he got the Broncos playing better football last year.
They made the playoffs, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure
I think that's right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Sean McVay is 3rd with the Rams. John Harbaugh 4 with the Ravens. Mike Tomlin at 5 with the Steelers, which there's a lot of Steelers fans that have a lot of thoughts on that.
They want him fired, and I just can't believe it.
I think it's just more of a, what are we doing here? We're smack in the middle all the time. We're not that great. We're not that terrible. What does that do for you?
You could be like Cleveland.
Media. Yeah, but you know what? At least Cleveland gets a number 1 pick every now and then to try to change their fortunes.
It's not as great as you think.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Browns fan, Tyvis. I'm aware.
It's not as great as I know Pittsburgh fans think that's cute. It's not as cute as you think.
What the Steelers fans have, though, is a little thing called standards where they say, yeah, we expect to be more than, oh, looky there. We made the playoffs and then lost again. Yay.
You could be on the opposite end. You could not make the playoffs every season.
Yeah, but you know what? I'd rather take that risk. I'd rather be all or nothing than be just middle of the road.
Yeah.
But Jim Harbaugh's 6. Kyle Shanahan 7. Nick Sirianni, fresh off winning a Super Bowl, he's at 8.
Well, last year he probably would have been at 20.
Yeah, that's true.
They was done with him.
They were. You're exactly right.
If it didn't work out last year, he was getting fired.
Yeah, that's fair. Dan the Man Campbell is at 9, Lions head coach. I'm just going through the quick math on that. I believe every one of those guys that I just mentioned has coached in a Super Bowl. Am I wrong? No, Dan Campbell has not.
Yes, Dan Campbell has not.
Not as a head coach, obviously.
Yeah, he was.
But all the
was
other.
He with the Saints when they?
I feel like he's been on some staffs that did that. But Sirianni, Shanahan, the Harbaughs, Tomlin, McVay, Payton, Andy Reid. Those are all Super Bowl. At least they've
either
coached
been
in the
there
game
or won it. Yes.
And then Dan Campbell had his team going 15-2 last year. All right,
yeah, they fell on their face in the playoffs.
Number 10 on this list is a guy who I want to say his career record in Cleveland is hovering. Is it hovering around or under 500?
I think it's 40 and 44.
Yeah, okay.
So he's under 500.
Kevin Stefanski is 10th on the returning head coaches list, Pro Football Focus. No, sorry. I don't. I mean,
who's 11? I need to know.
I'd like to see the whole list there, I guess.
Who's
but
behind him?
It might just be a process of elimination because there's just not a lot of guys that are returning.
Justify this list.
It kind of, when I first saw it, was presented as these are the top 10 coaches in the NFL, which there's no way he should fit into that. But it's not a list of that. It's a list of returning because you have to leave Pete Carroll out of that.
Yes.
He's not a returning head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Vrabel's not I mean, they're returning to the NFL, but they weren't here last year coaching. They were out for a year. So I guess that's the caveat you throw here. But Kevin Stefanski's not a top 10 head coach. Is he a decent head coach? Has he had some issues? Yeah, but
you take Kevin Stefanski over Matt LaFleur.
That's you know what?
It's a wash.
Yeah, I don't know that I would. I don't know that I feel like give me 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I don't feel like it's that close. I do feel like. Go ahead, Bodie.
How about Dan Quinn in Washington?
Yeah.
I mean, he's taken two different teams to.
That's fair.
What about
Super Bowl and an NFC title game?
Yeah, well, that's the other one. Like, the fact that Sean McDermott's not on this.
Sean McDermott, he gets his team fired up by reminding them about 9/11. So that's.
Hey, don't
I don't think Kevin Stefanski's ever done that.
Pete Carroll has some thoughts on 9/11 too. Now, if you really want to break it down,
if only Aaron Rodgers could have landed in Las Vegas.
What about Kevin O'Connell?
Oh yeah, I would absolutely take Kevin O'Connell.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're getting into this discussion where somehow Kevin Stefanski gets a lot of credit because the Deshaun Watson thing was terrible, right? Like, that was a bad decision. Remind me, has Kevin Stefanski come out and been like, from day one, I just want everybody to know I hate Deshaun Watson. I wish we didn't. I never wanted this guy. Or has he come out very publicly and said, yeah, this is my guy. This is who I wanted. And if you ask around, he was involved in the decision-making to bring him in. So you can say that Deshaun Watson, well, that's not Kevin Stefanski's fault. Not totally, but
he got some blame in it.
He was not demanding, like, I'm not saying he should have quit over it, but like, he was involved in the decision-making that ultimately landed bringing him in. So
the thing about it is that Kevin Stefanski had built up a lot of clout, and this Deshaun Watson situation really just kind of smothered a lot of it, because you think about last year. Like, last year is kind of what put a big stain in a lot of people's mouth when it comes to Kevin, because Kevin started off the year. The first question, the biggest thing in last year when they got Ken Dorsey was who's calling the plays.
Right.
Kevin's first press conference, he comes out and says, I want to put it to bed. I'm calling the plays. Okay.
Right.
All right.
There we go.
So if it looks bad, it's on him. Then once Deshaun goes down, he says, yep, Ken's calling the plays. And it's like, what, dude, what are you doing? Like, if anything, they need you more now than before. So that was an issue for me. Then the fact that you went into last offseason, you fired your whole offensive staff, and then you decided to change the playbook up because you wanted to get it towards Deshaun Watson, to where everybody else, all those other 10 guys on offense, was brought here specifically to run your offense. That's why you took them, because they would fit what you want to do. But you said no and decided to change everything up to try to fit this quarterback. And then you hear the stories about when we watch tape, when we watching the game film or practice film, if somebody makes a mistake, you grilling them. But if Deshaun makes a mistake, you don't say nothing. Like, that's so like that. Those things come into it to where it's like, I can't necessarily say you're the greatest coach, because a good coach don't care who you are.
That's part of being a head coach.
You have to give those tough conversations. And I felt like they kind of coddled him a little bit last year, and it derailed the entire season. And then when things went bad, because the one thing I respect about Kevin the most is he always managed chaos great. You think of the COVID year. COVID, they went to the playoffs. Yeah. Did a great job there. When the Odell thing came out, I think they played Cincinnati the next week, and they went out there and blew. I don't know if they blew them out, but they beat Cincinnati in a really big game.
Yeah.
When the quarterbacks got knocked out of games, you always had a guy come in and he still was able to perform well. You know, Nick Mullins came in during COVID and had a really good game. Like, there was stuff like that. I was like, he does a great job of managing chaos, to where last year, all of that just got erased because it was nothing but chaos, and you just kind of let it just go.
Yeah. And I feel like he gets a pass because, the Haslam's make all these crazy decisions. But at some point, like, Andrew Berry's been there a long time. He's been there a long time now. If those guys aren't all on the same page and they're bringing in players supposedly that, he can't work. He doesn't want Deshaun Watson. Well, then why is he there? Right? Like, but here's the last. I think this is the simplest way to put to bed that Kevin Stefanski is not an elite coach. He's fine. He may be a great play caller. I don't disagree with that, but I think you can go look at just one simple fact to know all you need to know about Kevin Stefanski. That defense has been like a top 10, top 5 defense over the last few years. It has not been the problem. The offense has been bottom 5 at least the last 2 years. And I know you can say, Deshaun Watson got hurt, this and that. Again, you're telling me he gets credit for keeping them afloat with terrible quarterbacks. Whose fault is it the offense sucks? It's his. If you're going to tell me how great of a play caller he is, and he can't get his head around that, and he can't figure out how to get something more, when all you need is like 2 touchdowns to win games.
And I dislike
in most of these games.
And I really dislike the way they did DTR. The fact that a quarterback who had started in the game didn't know he was starting to the day before of the game or the day of the game that he was going to be the starting quarterback. That's terrible.
Was he the one too that they had where it was like, you're the third, or didn't they have him as like the third option and then they bumped him up?
Yeah.
Was that what you're talking? Yeah. Where it's just like
this happened 2 times.
What is happening?
2 years
Yes.
when Deshaun was like, I'm gonna play on Sunday. And then he got to Sunday and said, I can't play. They threw DTR. I think it was against Baltimore.
Yeah,
DTR had to go out there against Baltimore. He's like, I didn't know I was playing until that day.
Yeah.
And then I think last year, something like that happened to where he was like, I haven't really got any reps with the ones, but the starting quarterback. It's like, what are we doing?
We're not helping. You're not helping him out. You're not helping him out
Like,
at all.
and this is the guy that y'all like. So when it's stuff like that, it's hard for me to say this is just a great coach because he has a ton of terrible flaws.
I agree with you on that. Yeah, definitely not a top 10 coach or returning coach in my mind either. Ask Tyvis anything in 2 minutes. Tweet us at Bone and Tyvis 971 or in the YouTube chat right now. It's 2 minutes away. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there. Well, we do want to mention a ramp closure, especially for folks over in Westerville. 71, that southbound ramp to 270 westbound, will be closed starting on Saturday, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So a great detour you'll want to know about in those overnight hours. Take 71 southbound instead to 270 eastbound. Hop off on Cleveland Avenue, that exit there, then continue on 270 westbound. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot, so it's time to get your grilling on. Pick up the Traeger Pro Series 22 pellet grill and smoker, now on special buy for $389, was $549. Smoke a rack of ribs or bake an apple pie. This grill is versatile enough to do it all. This summer, no matter how you like your steaks, your barbecues are guaranteed to be well done. Celebrate 4th of July with fast free delivery on select grills right now at the Home Depot. Subject to availability.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes. Take me out to the ball game. Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
Both of these men love the Browns. Also, both of these men hate the Browns. If you know, you know. This is T-Bone and Tyvis.
Don't forget Jackets draft coverage tonight right here on The Fan. We start at 6 p.m. Bob McKelligan, Dylan Tyre will have all the information, action, everything going down. Blue Jackets draft special starting tonight at 6, sponsored by Ohio Health, right here on The Fan. It's our favorite segment of the week, or one of them. Ask Tyvis anything. Let's do it.
Get to know your resident national champion. It's time for Ask Tyvis Anything.
All right, Jared starts us off today. What is the one piece of technology, Tyvis, that you thought was amazing as a kid that seems obsolete now? Mine is having to save up to go to Circuit City to buy a video game. Now graphics are better and you can download it at home. Yeah, that's a good point, Jared.
What's crazy about video games? I went down this memory lane like a couple of days ago. You remember you used to stand in line? Well, you might not. I used to stand in line for like the release of Madden.
Sure.
Like,
Oh yeah,
they come
I
out
did
at
that a few
midnight,
times.
and you be sitting out there. I'd be like the only kid out there.
I remember actually I worked at Walmart one year in high school where I was a cashier, and I was old enough where I think it was 18 my senior year, and they said I could stay there to be there because they needed help with the line of people that were there at Walmart at midnight to get the game. Whatever it might have been, I can't remember if it was that or something else, but yeah, whatever game it was, there was a huge line of people.
The kids today don't know the grind of trying to get these games, and now all of a sudden you just go right to your PlayStation or your Xbox store and boop, just download it. So yeah, I am with you 100% on that. I would say another thing was like a two-way. You ever have a two-way or a pager? Or
Oh, a pager.
So, yeah,
I never had one, but my dad did. Yeah.
I did as a kid for whatever reasons.
You had to
It's
go.
one of those things
You'd see the phone number. You'd have to call it.
the number. Yeah, like
What do you need? Yeah, or sometimes the number would have, some of them had a message you could get on it. Yeah. My dad actually hit a pager from work, but you could pay to get a service that would give you sports updates. So he would be looking at it, and it would scroll and be like, the Mets game. This is what the score was. The Reds did this.
You ever a payphone?
Oh, yeah.
Payphones. That's what I want to see. Like, I want to use a payphone again.
If you see one now, it's like,
you used to have to dial down the center, and then for the collect call, you say what your message is. They say, what's your name? And you'll say, no, come get me from blah, blah, blah. And then you hang up so the person don't have to accept it.
That was like the best commercial. The collect call from first name Bob, last name we otta baby eats a boy. Who was that? It was Bob. They had a baby. It's a boy. Muggsy's Leaper says, do you like Chinese food? What's your go-to? Can you handle spicy? Kung Pao, for instance, fried or steamed. Have you ever tried the mustard for egg rolls and felt the burn in your sinuses?
So, this is interesting because last night I was actually about to order some Chinese food. I was going to actually have Molly Woo from Polaris Mall.
Oh, there you go.
I was going to have that. I was going to get the, what is it called? The firecracker chicken.
Okay.
With shrimp, with fried rice.
I would hope that's
I always wanted an extra spicy because it's not spicy enough for me. But I like my stuff with a little kick to it.
Good.
So,
okay.
But if I'm going just traditional Chinese food, it's always going to be General Tso's chicken or orange chicken, something like that. Or pepper steak. I love pepper steak as well. So that's kind of my like 3 go-to orders when I'm dealing with Chinese food. And I always got to get the crab rangoons or the egg rolls.
Yeah. Crab rangoon is just...
Oh, it's delicious.
I don't know if it's authentic or not, but I don't care. It's delicious. And I'm glad whoever invented it. Thank you for making that.
If I'm on the healthier side, edamame.
Oh, popping the little peas.
Peas, yeah.
You know what's so stupid? This will show you how healthy I've been over my life. The first time I tried to eat those, I tried to eat it, I just started chewing. I'm like, this sucks. I had the same. I'm such an idiot. I had the same thing too with a tamale. The first time I had one, I'm eating the corn husk, and it's like, no, dummy, you unwrap it and then you eat what's inside. Moron.
Hungry.
Yeah, that's also it. I was hungry. Asphalt Soldier says, ask Tyvis. Tyvis, who's your favorite OSU quarterback? I mean, it seems like this is a setup because you have one, like a guy who's like your.
I have a son and a grandson.
Who's your grandson? I know the son is
Joe
Cardale
Thomas
Jones.
Barrett the fourth. It's my grandson.
Oh, JT Barrett's your grandson.
My grandson.
I didn't know that part of it. I knew Cardale was your son.
My favorite OSU quarterback. That's such a loaded question.
I know it is. That's why you asked.
Well, it's not neither one of them.
Okay.
Family aside, I will put the family aside. I would say probably Braxton.
Oh,
I love Braxton as quarterback. He was literally a cheat code, and I just hate the disrespect that he gets on a national level. How people would just try to act like he wasn't this unbelievable player, like he wasn't must-see TV, and just some of the things that I got to watch him do, even in practice, like he's probably one of the best players I've ever played with.
Yeah, I can't disagree that he was one of the best to ever play at Ohio State, and we would love to see what would happen if his arm.
Yeah, I wish his shoulder never was messed up.
Yeah. Few more here. Rusty says, ask Tyvis question. If we had to WWE style wrestle Adam King, if you had to, what moves would you want to do, and how long before Adam cries/gives up?
What moves would I want to do? Okay, well,
Swanton bomb.
I definitely am going. I'm a high flyer.
You're going off the top rope.
So I'm definitely flying off the top rope with a swanton bomb or a 5-star frog splash.
There you go.
I'd have to get a people's elbow in there.
Oh yeah,
and do the whole 9, and then I'd have to do the RKO for sure, just to end it. I
like it.
Catch him off guard with a nice little RKO.
It's beautiful. Meat Sweat says, on a scale of Donnie Osmond never to traffic girl Leanna Ray, who was our old traffic girl on afternoons, who swore a lot, how much of a potty mouth does Tyvis have off the air? I guess this is a question for me about you, but I'll answer it. You're like at a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, you're at like a 4. You don't swear a ton. Like, you swear on the scale of like the radio people I work with here, you're on the bottom half of like swearing.
Yeah,
you don't swear a ton.
The only time I swear a ton is when I'm competing. Like if I'm playing a video game or if I'm playing a sport, like that's the only time that like the swear words come out with me. But for the most part, like when I'm on air, I try not to curse at all. Anything that I know that my mother can watch or listen to, I don't swear on.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like to this day, I'm 31 years old. I've never swore in front of my mother. And to this day, I think she thinks that I don't curse.
I used to have that same feeling, and then those ratings come out the first time, and you're like, well, swearing helps. Sorry, Mom. I gotta do what I gotta do.
I'll let y'all do that. I try to. Plus, I know kids is usually listening, so like I try to keep it.
Oh, I got a line for that.
I keep it G.
Kids.
I'm one of the ones that just say the letter.
I don't. Yeah,
I'm a letter
certain
guy.
ones we can't say. Obviously,
even like D. Like
D.
Like D.
D.
Can't
say D.
Yeah, like a beaver's dam.
Yeah, I got it. Sound like my kids. They said beaver damn it at school today.
I'm just saying.
I got it.
That's how it is. I've been like that for all my life, and it's just how I am.
Hey, how about we end with like an actual football question? Andy says, barring injury, when we get to the middle of the college football season, what position group with Ohio State, I presume he's talking about, do you think will still have the most questions? Mine would be the defensive line not getting pressure.
That's what everybody is going to go with, is the defensive line. I mean, that's definitely it's the easiest answer. I'm going to go with running backs. I'm going to running backs.
Okay.
Because I know, like,
lost two very productive running backs
and I think that was just the biggest difference. And you got obviously one guy played at West Virginia, and I believe James People is going to be good. But until I actually see it, like, is it going to be one of those seasons where if the run game isn't working right away, do they stick with it and try to figure it out over the course of the season, or do they just completely abandon it and go 7-on-7 because of the fact that you have your play caller is now Brian Hartline, and he could get frustrated like, this ain't working, but I got guys out there on the outside that I know can get it done, and it can turn into like what C.J. Stroud did. Just forget the run game for right now. We're just going to throw the ball because that's what we're good at. So the running backs would be the second answer for me.
I've known this, but just piecing all that together, you have run game that has a question mark on it, offensive linemen that are, you're replacing a lot of guys. You have a new offensive line coach. You have technically a new play caller, right? And Brian Hartline is now going to be officially doing all that. And then, oh, by the way, no one knows who's playing quarterback officially. So, like,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing you won a national championship last year because you got some time to work that all out. But
they got to grow. This team just got to grow up real quick.
Good thing Texas is coming in with a defense that has like a bunch of NFL dudes on it for week 1. That's going to be the test to start you off. Get ready for even more Blue Jackets hockey. Not just them, every hockey team, but I'll tell you why coming up next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good Friday morning. Well, we are still monitoring a really big crash happening for folks over on our southeast side, just past Lancaster and right before Canal Winchester. US 33 westbound, just beyond Columbus Lancaster Road. All lanes still closed at this hour right now. The best detour will be taking Lithopolis Road and heading through that way instead. I'm 10 TV's Brina Albizu with your fan traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina. It's boat season at Buckeye Lake Marina. Largest new and used boat inventory in the 3-county region. Details and more at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
Common Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain interoffice emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I've been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
This summer, save more with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves for $2 or less all season long.
Like Meyer potato chips?
Yep.
Hamburger buns?
Of course.
Ketchup?
Absolutely.
How about Meyer lemonade? That's my favorite.
Yep, that too. Plus pickles, baked beans, cheese slices for sandwiches. It's your favorite Meyer brand must-haves for $2 or less all season long.
That's a good deal better.
Only at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meyer app.
Scotty Vegas here. We all know that summer's the easiest season for weight loss. Warm weather, lighter meals, being outside. Our bodies are primed to succeed, and Awaken 180 has your game plan. Reach your goals this summer with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also, try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
10 West Broad, Columbus. CordellCordell.com.
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the Shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at OhioStateBuckeyes.com, where you can grab single-game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Whether it's water heater trouble, clogged or leaky pipes, or sub pump worries, Logan Services has you covered. With service calls for just $79. We're fast, friendly, and here to help you with your plumbing projects. Logan Services.
Common Man and Timmy.
And she looks at me also, she says, Dad, who on earth would put ketchup on a hot dog? And I said, a lunatic would. That's right. Sprinkles and ketchup for lunatics.
Common Man and Timmy Afternoons on the Fan is sponsored by Hinderer Motorsports.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Want to know anything about the Fan's contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tyvis Powell is a legendary Buckeye. T-Bone loves to eat Buckeyes. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
You can tweet the program, as always, at Bone and Tyvis 971. So, talks are with the NHL. New CBA is going to be ratified here soon. That would be a 4-year extension between the NHL and the Players Association. That'll get them through 2030. But in this, it's a little bit interesting. They are cutting down the number of preseason games. They're saying this could be announced even today before the draft happens. But they are going to take the preseason games down from 8 to 4, and they're going to add in 2 regular season games. So now instead of 82 regular season games, you'll have 84. From a percentage standpoint, it's not a lot, but it's the first time in 30 years there's been a different number of games than 82 in an NHL season. So
that's interesting that they choose to go that way, because all the other talks and every other sports, they need to cut it down. Obviously, football, they're trying to add that other game.
But that's just because the owners are greedy.
But aside from them, every other sport is talking about how it's too many games and we need to cut it down to make the regular season more meaningful, because it's become very meaningless. So it's interesting to see. Now, I've never been upset at teams that are leagues that decide to cut preseason games to add on to the regular season. Because if you was a guy like me in football, like when it went from 16 to 17 games, they cut down a preseason game. Well, I was going to play in that preseason game anyways.
Right.
Difference is, in the preseason, I made $1,000 a week, to where in the regular season, I made $17,000 a week. So if you want to give me an extra $17,000, I'll take that all day of the week and twice on Sunday. So I never had an issue with it from that standpoint. However, if you are a guy who is trying to make the organization or make that club, you got 2 less games now. You got 1 less game to impress. And that's big for undrafted guys or low round drafted guys like that. That means a lot to be able to have those extra games to be able to showcase your talent, because it's not just your club. It's all of the clubs in that league, because they get to watch the tape. So that's the part of it I don't like about them cutting preseason games.
Yeah, I'm not. With the NHL, it's weird because I don't think they have a very similar footprint as far as time goes to the NBA, and yet when you hear the conversations between those two sports, it could not be more night and day different. Like, their ratings have not been stellar at all, but I never hear people like bagging the NHL for being terrible and bad and unwatchable, even though when you look at their ratings, they are down extremely from where they used to be. And it's not anywhere close to being one of the top 3 sports from a TV rating standpoint. From an enjoyability standpoint, obviously, if you like hockey or you like basketball or you like football, whatever it is, that's going to vary from fan to fan. But the narrative around the NHL I never hear is like, oh my gosh, this sport may be on the last legs. It's dying. It can't do it. When they have some of their games will even get like 1 million people watching. That's just, I'm surprised that narrative is, you know what we need? More games. When you have that kind of issue. Because with the NBA, it's like they have so many games that don't draw numbers for them. Now, they'll draw 5-6 times what an NHL game does, but it's still not great for what the NBA used to do. And the answer there is constantly, we have to maybe go down to 60 games or cut it down at least from 82, maybe to 74 or something like that.
They're not going to do it. They need to. They're not, though.
What was the year? It might have been, I don't think it was COVID related. It might have gone back to a lockout or something where they played like 50 games.
Like 50 games. That was the lockout with 2010.
I feel like has it been that long? Yeah, it was a while ago, but I remember everybody saying with the NBA then, that's the sweet spot. That's great, because all the games felt like they mattered. It was kind of squeezed in between like January and April, and you just had a lot of good games. Everything kind of mattered more because there were fewer games to make your record up. I'm surprised the NHL's going this way too, but it all has to do with the preseason thing. It's just odd to me to hear the narrative around those two leagues when one of them doesn't get ratings, isn't followed nearly enough. Most of the big stars are kind of invisible to most of the sports media, and yet all we ever hear about is how the NBA is dying and can't do anything. When the NHL actually is the one that doesn't seem to get the numbers.
They played 66 games, so 16 less games.
Yeah.
And it was a major difference.
It was huge.
Who won the title that year?
2010?
No, 2011.
I don't remember.
It was 2012. It was LeBron's first title in Miami.
Oh, that was the Miami title. There you go. Wow. 2 asterisk titles for LeBron.
Jeez, you know what? And let's be honest, if Ray didn't save him in 13.
You know what? He probably shouldn't even play basketball. He sucks.
The 16-1 counts for like 2 or 3, though, I think. Although if Draymond hadn't got suspended.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Don't
right
do that. No, you're not going to take away that one. Now that
Can't take it away. You know what? Take them all away. They're all irrelevant.
If Draymond did get suspended.
By the way, the NBA also said that they're trying to figure out the Achilles injury problem because it is an issue. You had a bunch of guys go down, like big name stars go down with Achilles injuries.
Yeah.
3 guys in the playoffs, I want to say.
Dame, Tyrese, and Jason Tatum.
Yeah, all in the playoffs, all blowing out their Achilles. Going to be on the shelf all of next year. That sucks.
What was it, 8 total last?
I think it was 8 or 9 guys that had that injury, but 3 of them were in the playoffs. And they're saying they're going to use artificial intelligence.
No, that's not what they said. They said they're going to use AI. Allen Iverson. That's what they.
Somebody had the perfect tweet doesn't exist tweet, and it was a photo, an AI generated photo of Allen Iverson looking at like an X-ray of a leg, and they said,
"Just don't
AI's
practice."
looking at it. No, yeah, right. Well. See, Bodie, that's the thing, because I've seen people say, oh, it's the guys who don't wear mid to high cut shoes. They're wearing the low tops. That's what's causing the Achilles injuries. I have seen people saying it's because guys don't know how to plant their feet now. You got all these trainers that are teaching them to like take this big step back that puts a strain on their calf and then on their Achilles. I don't know. I'm just going to throw my theory out there since all of us are uneducated, just saying whatever. Maybe it's the fact that 2 years ago they said we got to stop having guys taking that rest time and we can't have load management. If you do that, you won't be eligible for all these postseason awards. Look at all these big name stars that had this happen to them. They're all guys who would want to be eligible for those awards, right? They're all guys that probably played a little bit more than they normally would. And now you have 3 of them at least on the shelf because of that. I don't know. That could at least let's look into that, right?
It's probably a bit of everything, right?
Right.
I'm sure
it's not any one
some
thing.
of it, the specialization. I've seen people say that guys playing only basketball from the age of 7 up until now, not playing other sports matters. I'm sure it's a little bit of everything. Yeah, I agree. I'm sure an 82-game season where guys are trying to get to 65 games. Jaylen Brown was playing on a torn meniscus at the end of the year, and they had to kind of shut him down and tell him, dude, you're not playing anymore because he wanted to get to 65 games, and I don't blame him, and it impacts his contract and what. Not a lot, but
yeah, they should get rid of that. That's dumb.
Or maybe go down to 60. Like I don't think it's a bad idea to have it in there, but
I always felt the load management argument is made by people who just are never going to watch the NBA anyway, and they want to have an excuse. And it's like, so why are we catering to them? Just the NBA should just lean into its fans who actually do enjoy the games and say, what do your fans care about? And if the majority of those fans say, yeah, I don't like load management either. I don't like when I go to a game, my favorite star might not be playing. Fine, but just be more transparent when guys aren't going to play. Don't do it 2 hours before tip-off, and I don't think it'll be a problem. All right, Deshaun Watson's favorite kicker has been suspended. We'll talk about him next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Friday. We are noticing yet another crash, this time happening closer to the downtown scene over by Linden, 71 southbound, just beyond Hudson Street. We do have a left lane blocked out there. Taking a live look at our traffic cams again, 71 at Hudson Street. We do notice police on scene with the car, noticing traffic cones in the area as well, and some big backups this morning. I'm 10 TV's Brina Albizu with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by RCD RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, and Pataskala, or at rcdrv.com.
Get summer blockbuster savings at Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Right now, take up to $6,000 off MSRP on any new Kia in stock. Plus, get free maintenance for a full year when you buy. Get any new Kia with up to $6,000 off MSRP. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Largest Kia dealer based on current ground stock at all 4 Coughlin Kia locations. 2025 Kia Sorento XY. MSRP $47,990. $3,000 Coughlin discount. $3,000 factory rebate. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. N7725.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
He shoots, he scores! No matter your sport, it's a great time of year to be a fan. But the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. At Maryhaven, we're here to help. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or mental health, you don't have to go it alone. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven meets you where you are. always judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
On this date, this June 27th in 1998, the Reds honored the legacy of the Negro Leagues in Cincinnati by wearing throwback uniforms modeled after the uniforms worn by the 1942 Cincinnati Negro League team called the Buckeyes. In the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, several Negro League teams formed in Cincinnati. Most didn't last long, the franchises moving on after a couple of years. Nearly all of them played their home games at the Reds ballpark, Crosley Field. And that 1942 club, the Buckeyes, featured a young outfielder named Sam Jethro, who would go on to play in the major leagues, winning Rookie of the Year in 1950. A tribute to the Negro Leagues in Cincinnati this June 27, 1998, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
It's Child's Play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill, hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. Happy Friday, everybody. We'll start with baseball here. Yesterday afternoon, the Guardians dropped the rubber match to the Blue Jays, losing 6-0. Looking ahead to tonight, Cleveland will continue the homestand when they host the St. Louis Cardinals for the first of a 3-game set. First pitch is at 7:10 tonight. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, after an off day on Thursday, the Redlegs will be back at it on the diamond tonight when they host the Padres at 7:10 in the first of a 3-game series against San Diego. In hockey, the Blue Jackets made a trade on Thursday, sending backup goaltender Tarasov to the Florida Panthers in exchange for a 5th-round pick, number 160 overall this weekend. Tonight, we've got the first round of the draft, where the Jackets are slated to pick at number 14 and 20 overall. We'll have the Blue Jackets draft show for you right here on The Fan this evening, starting at 6 o'clock. This update is sponsored by RCD RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, and Pataskala, or at rcdrv.com. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan.
Your home for football, food, and fun. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Beat the Heat fan kickoff. That is this today. It's happening. Special live broadcast. We're kicking it off. 2025 Beat the Heat Fan Drive. Rothman and Ice will be out at the Westerville Fire Station at 400 West Main Street. We're asking for you to help a neighbor in need by bringing out a new box fan to donate. As a thank you, the first 100 people to drop off a fan will get a pair of tickets to the Cardale Jones charity softball game at Huntington Park on July 19th. We are also doing that here at 10 TV at our studios at WBNS. So make sure you stop by the Beat the Heat Fan Drive in partnership with Life Care Alliance and 10 TV and the Fan. So every year, great event. Hopefully you support that in some way. If you can, we would love to have you do that. I said that Deshaun Watson's favorite kicker got suspended. Of course, that's, I'm guessing, I don't know. It's Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker and Deshaun Watson have a lot of similar allegations. So I'm sure if they've ever chatted, I don't know if they have. They probably have some different stories to share about accusations against them, allegedly. But Justin Tucker got his suspension from the NFL yesterday. He is a free agent as of right now. The Ravens released him, but he'll have a 10-game suspension to serve. He can serve that while he is not on a roster. I am guessing that if he doesn't get picked up before the season, someone will pick him up before the end of that suspension and say, yeah, he served his time, or he's serving his time with the suspension. So, what do you want us to do? We need a kicker. We need to try to win games.
Has he had to go to like court and stuff like Deshaun had to? Like,
I don't know. I think there were,
because I know Deshaun, like, he had to settle like all his cases and all those things. Like, is that a thing with Justin Tucker? And what is he up to? 16?
I know that
was it 10, 16?
I know that his lawyer has come out and said, we still deny all these allegations. It sounds like, at least for the suspension part of this with the NFL, this was a negotiated suspension where they kind of came in, his team, and said, we're not going to admit to anything, but he wants to move on from this. So what do you need to do to get this out of the way? And the NFL basically said, we need to suspend him, and it's for inappropriate conduct. And they went back and forth on that. Anyway, the suspension takes effect August 26th. He will be eligible for reinstatement Tuesday, November 11th. And it's still that same thing, right? Where then he has to apply for reinstatement. Doesn't mean that he's automatically granted that. But he has been accused of inappropriate behavior by 16 massage therapists from 8 different spas and wellness centers. So, I mean, I don't know if there's been legal action taken there. I don't remember what the full story is there, but yeah, it doesn't seem good either way.
Yeah, no. You think that? Well, I think it'd have to see where he's at, like with the cases when they, after 10 games, did he settle his cases and things like that? I feel like if it's still pending and all that, I feel like maybe.
I don't know why I feel like he already settled the cases, but that's like in my head, that's what I'm thinking, is that he already did that. And this is now like because I remember he tried to kind of downplay this and put it behind him last year. And he just wasn't also very good. So it gave the Ravens multiple reasons to say, you know what, we're out of the Justin Tucker business right now. But I said this earlier, I'll say it again. If there was a team that would take a chance on him late in the season, I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns would. They've already done it once with Deshaun Watson.
They just signed another kicker yesterday.
Doesn't matter. If that guy's getting the job done, great. But if he's not.
They released Ogbo and signed a kicker.
Yeah, I mean, that's
with the St. Louis Battlehawks, I think.
Oh, good.
USFL guy. Said he was on the Browns practice squad like 2-3 years ago, though.
That's fine.
Which is,
I'm just telling you, and I know kickers are expendable. And if you miss a few kicks at the wrong time of year,
not if you paid them, because Dustin Hopkins was hooking them left and hooking them right last year.
But you don't need to keep playing him. And I'm quite sure if they can. I'm just saying, if the Browns are somewhere like a 5-4 type of team, or let's say 6-5 or something like that, whatever the record. I'm just saying, if they're in that level of or better, they will be in the market, I'm sure, for anything that makes their team better. And I'm sure they would kick the tires on Justin Tucker if they thought, if like the kicking game was costing them games.
They may as well. We've already dealt with it once. We might deal with it.
Yeah. I don't know that every organization would.
They said they conditioned to handle it.
Yeah. I also saw Brett Bielema. We talked about this a little bit earlier if you missed it, but Bielema was on the Triple Option podcast with Urban Meyer, and he was talking about a player of his, a running back who had been in the portal for Illinois, one of their best running backs from last year. And right after he hit the portal, someone picked him up. Here's what Bielema had to say.
We did lose a guy to Georgia. Somehow he found his way to the portal, and 12 hours after being in Portal, he was on a flight to Georgia. I don't know how that happened, but it's crazy.
Weird how that happened.
But wish Josh and all the best. You know, he took advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah. Sounds like you wish. Josh McCray is the running back. Sounds like you wish him the best. Yesterday on these airwaves, Paul Feinbaum responded to that on Bishop and Friends. Take a listen.
And I'm getting entertained by Brett Bielema. So a couple weeks ago he was coming after the SEC broadly. Now he's coming after Kirby Smart. Knowing Brett Bielema for a long time, the only thing that surprised me is understanding his voracious appetite, and he didn't bite the microphone and try to swallow it, because he doesn't seem to mind running his mouth. I would suggest maybe to Brett, worry about he had a good season last year by Illinois standards, but that means plus 500. I would worry more about maybe being successful on the football field, so he doesn't get fired there like he did at Arkansas, as opposed to running his mouth and making allegations that there is no chance in the world he can back up.
That's good. Paul Feinbaum's probably the person who shouldn't be body shaming people for being fat, given that his ears are the size of a satellite dish, but whatever. We'll let him live. We're gonna start going after body appearances. I wouldn't do it, but if you're going to start with that, then you better be ready for the fight. That's all I'm saying. But
Paul ain't never did nothing to nobody.
He's done a lot to lots of people. What are you talking about? It's Paul Feinbaum.
He just doesn't he love the SEC?
Yeah, he's Mr. SEC. That's fine. Now, if you ask some of the SEC fans, they would say he hates my team, though, to which, I get it. He's critical of certain teams, sure.
The only reason he can say anything about Brett is because of the Arkansas thing. He wasn't successful at Arkansas. But in the Big Ten, he's always been so. Wisconsin teams was pretty good.
They had 9 wins last year, right? 9 or 10?
They would say they had maybe 10.
Yeah, I feel like Illinois, they won their bowl game, too, against, last I checked, an SEC team. Wasn't that South Carolina they beat in the bowl game?
Yeah, and that's when they almost got it because he kept doing the
right
thing, and that coach got fired up.
Was it Shane Beamer that got fired up? Isn't that their head coach of South Carolina?
Fired up.
Oh, yeah, he was going to fight him. Now, here's the schedule for Illinois this year. Just you tell me if this is a team that can go win like 9 games again. I don't know totally that Illinois has all their pieces back. Obviously, we talked about they lost one of their better running backs.
They got the quarterback.
They got their starting quarterback.
Luke Altmaier.
Yeah, and they've got a decent defense there. We'll see what they can do. Here's their schedule. Western Illinois at home to start it off. At Duke, Western Michigan. That's the non-conference. Conference games, they are at Indiana Saturday, September 20th. That should be an interesting one.
If Indiana
with Kurt Signetti.
What's Indiana reloaded and, it'd be a good game.
USC at home, Purdue on the road, Ohio State at home. So that, hopefully the wind will be okay for Ohio State. That's an old Juice Williams joke going back in the day. At Washington, Rutgers at home, Maryland at home, at Wisconsin. For Brett Bielema, that'll be a bit of a homecoming and interesting. Mm-hmm. And then Northwestern to close out the season. I'm just saying,
it's a very favorable schedule.
Yeah.
Very favorable. But like I say, now that they lost their running back, they lost their best receiver, Pat Bryant, to the draft. Illinois also has to retool at those spots as well. Luke Altmaier is good. He was a really good, accurate quarterback last year, but does he have the weapons around him to be successful? And I don't know the answer to that question, and I don't know what they did in the offseason, so we'll have to see.
Yeah. I will say, I think part of it comes down to if they win 9 games and they keep it close against Ohio State, not they're going to beat Ohio State, but if they keep it close, you watch out for them getting into a little bit of a selection debate about them because they had an outside shot last year. They were never going to get in.
3 lost teams ain't going to get it done. You got to have 2.
All right, maybe you go if they can get 10 wins and keep it close with Ohio State.
All right.
Amend the statement, then.
Now you talking.
Morning Breath coming up next. Some people should just shut up. You'll hear from them next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We are still taking a closer look at folks over on our southeast side, just past Lancaster and right before Canal Winchester. Before, we were telling you about US 33 westbound, where all lanes were blocked. That has since cleared. Now the focus, though, is US 33 eastbound. We have a crash there at Columbus Lancaster Road. We do know that one lane is closed as of right now. Police are still on scene. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Excuse me, did someone say jackpot?
The Ohio Lottery's Mega Millions jackpot is up to $348 million. You heard that right, $348 million. Jackpots start at $50 million and grow faster than ever. And drawings are every Tuesday and Friday. With the new built-in multiplier, all non-jackpot prizes are multiplied between 2 and 10 times. Play Mega Millions today. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save big on 18-ounce containers of blueberries or 12-ounce containers of raspberries. Right now, they're only $3.77 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Everybody today in America is trying to get healthy. I'm doing it, you're doing it. There's people out there everywhere. And most people, they don't feel good. And so when you don't feel good, what do? You go to the doctor, there's pills, there's steroids, there's surgery. You don't want to deal with any of that. You don't want to be put on the shelf. You don't want to put things in your body that you do not enjoy. So here's what you need to do. Go see my friends at QC Kinetics, just like I did. My body was beaten up, so was my dad's. We went to QC Kinetics. They're not into the quick fixes. They're going to go there and they're going to diagnose you and find regenerative treatments with your own body's healing power to help heal that damaged tissue. And so you're going to feel better. You're going to be able to do the things you'll love again, and that's perfect because it's summertime. So listen, they're going to go right to the source of it at the cellular level. So give them a call at 380-208-4544 or go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They have offices all over Ohio. So go check them out today.
This just in from the Lindsay Honda Newsroom. It's our big anniversary sale. 0% for up to 60 months has been extended on all new Hondas. Drive a new 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive with 0% financing.
Lower your rate, lower your payment.
Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas when you buy now.
With so many Hondas, why would you go anywhere else?
Shop the big, the beautiful Lindsay Honda now. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab single-game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hello, Big Voice Guy here. I've been hired to tell you all about the Fans YouTube channel. Did you know you can immerse yourself in Buckeye goodness like Austin and Berm's daily podcast, The Beat? Yes, sirree, Bob. Subscribe today.
The outdoor drama Tecumseh is back this summer. The drama, the history, and the spectacle make Tecumseh one of Ohio's most beloved traditions. Tecumseh has provided thrilling live entertainment for 50 years, and the outdoor theater at Sugarloaf Mountain will provide a safe and memorable experience for your entire family. Get tickets now at tecumsehdrama.com. This message is made possible in part by the Ohio Arts Council. Tecumseh, experience the drama.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everyone. I wish I had an update to the weather, but it's seriously rinse and repeat for us as we head into the weekend. We will see wake-up temperatures in the 70s, and then this afternoon, mid to low 90s with the feels like getting into the triple digits in some spots. We'll have partly to mostly sunny skies with pop-up showers and thunderstorms throughout the second half of the day. For tonight, lows down into the 70s, and for Saturday, a tad bit cooler, but still muggy with our temperatures getting into the upper 80s and chances of showers and storms continuing. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvis is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
The only contraband hiding in Tyvis's butt cheeks is a Kit Kat bar. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Nice Kit Kat bar. That sounds delicious.
Oh, yeah. But can you have one before this time of day?
No.
Can't have a Kit Kat before noon?
You gotta wait till noon.
By the way, today's fan poll brought to you by Caster Connection. Kevin Stefanski or Zach Taylor, who do you think is the better NFL head coach? 65% of you right now.
Well, one of them's been to the Super Bowl.
Saying Kevin Stefanski.
One of them been to the Super Bowl, though.
I mean, that's fair. Like, I think we can all acknowledge that maybe that had to do with the guy playing quarterback, but Zach Taylor, I've not been a huge fan of his. I don't think he's...
Everybody hates him.
I think some guys get really lucky with who their quarterback is. But that said, once you have the star quarterback, if your offense is terrible, if your defense was trash last year, but
their offense ain't terrible.
That's what I'm saying. Like there are some parts of it that now looking on it, it's like, man, maybe we shouldn't be undervaluing him as much as we do. I don't know. But yeah, the Kevin Stefanski thing, that all comes from Pro Football Focus, ranking him in the top 10.
I wonder where Zach Taylor was on that. I'm guessing
on it.
Close.
Wasn't
to
on the top 10 returning coaches. That's not where he is. So yeah, we'll keep debating that. We'll discuss it, and of course, all season long, we'll get to follow that storyline. Kevin Stefanski. I don't know what he's doing at quarterback this year, but you got a mixed bag of weird and gross and young, I guess is the best thing you can say. You got two young quarterbacks that one of them might be your lottery ticket, but outside of that, Joe Flacco, the answer? Probably not. Tiny Hands Pickett, the answer? Probably not. Still got an offense that you got a wide receiver who said didn't want to go in a game when it's cold. So, I mean, I don't know. Like this. Seems like it's going to be a weird year up there.
He said that he was cold. His body was cold.
I know what he said. I also know that you said there was no chance in hell that if they asked you to go in a game,
if I'm going to pull something, then I'm going to just go ahead and you know why you go in the game cold?
Why?
Because if you pull something, they got to pay you still.
Guaranteed for injury.
They say like when you was if you were in that final preseason game, if you was one of the guys and you knew you wasn't going to make the team, the best thing that could happen is you get hurt in that game. Because if you got hurt in that game, they got to pay you.
There are probably some of the coaches who saw like a guy like that on I don't know, the last quarter where they're just throwing guys out there and they see this dude flying around being reckless.
Get
and
him out. Get him out.
No. He's going to sprain or pull something.
You on that bubble and you not 100% sure, get hurt. It's the greatest thing that can happen because they got to. That happened to me when I was with the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah?
In 2019. We got hurt in the last preseason game against Tampa Bay. That whole entire. So the entire preseason, I had strained my quad in like the first or second game. And I'm like, well, I got to play because if I don't play, there's no chance of me making this team. So I'm playing these games with a strained quad. And they know it's strained. And I'm in the doctors every day. And they're like, the only way it's going to get better is if you rest it, but you can't afford to rest it. So it's like, yeah, you got to go out there and play. So we get to the last game. I'm thinking to myself, all right, at least they going to give me the benefit of the doubt because they know my quad is strained. And I go out there and I pull my hamstring in the last game. And I was like, well, I wasn't going to make the roster. But they had to pay me. They had to pay me 4 weeks. So that's how I got my pension. That's how I ended up getting
really?
Because it was like, so my agent hits me. He's like, yeah, Dallas wants to give you a settlement. They want you to do 4 games. They're going to pay you 4 game checks. I said, if I take that, does that count towards my pension? He said, yes. I said, sign it today. Let's hurry up because I need these 4 games. Sign that.
That explains why your nickname has always been Tyvis Loophole Powell.
That's why.
Right. That's what they call him.
As much as I laugh at Bodie, I have nothing but great respect for the Cowboys.
I would too. If I was in that position, absolutely.
You missed out on a great season 2019 where Dallas went 8-8 and Jason Garrett's last year. So
have we ever seen that before? Time. Dallas going like a middling 8-8, just kind of never. That's a rare
Garrett,
season.
I think he loved Michael Irvin so much that he's like, we're just going to go 8-8 every year, boys.
We're going to honor him that way, just by having his record, his jersey number be our record. All right, it's morning breath time. Let's do it, Bodie.
Sometimes it's better if people just shut up. Shut up! It's time for Morning Breath.
This first one comes from Nuggets owner Josh Kroenke.
Oh.
Stan Kroenke, not my guy. He owns the Rams. He's owned the Nuggets. Josh Kroenke, I guess, is now like the owner and principal or whatever, but it's all Stan Kroenke's money.
So you don't like him?
No. Here is what Josh Kroenke had to say about, just like out of nowhere, he was talking about what it means to have this second apron, all these other things you have to factor now as an NBA team. And he out of nowhere just brought up that, oh, yeah, the Joker might be important.
I think that for us as an organization, going into that second apron is not necessarily something that we're scared of. I think that there are rules around it that we needed to be very careful of with our injury history. The wrong person gets injured, and very quickly you're into a scenario where that I never want to have to contemplate, and that's trade number 15. And so, we're very conscious of that pushing forward and, providing the resources that we can when the moment arrives. But that second apron, is it a hard cap? I'm not 100% sure, but it's something that teams are obviously very aware of going forward.
Out of nowhere.
That was definitely out of nowhere.
We could trade Nikola Jokic, our MVP every year candidate. We could trade. We don't want to think about it, but here we are talking about it randomly out of nowhere. No.
That makes no sense to me. I wouldn't.
Why would you even bring it up?
That's the thing.
Whether you're thinking about it or not.
Stuff like that, you can't even put in the air. No. I wouldn't even put that in the air. No. We're not even going to talk about trading 15 because he's never getting traded by us. So I'm not even going to talk about that. That's not even an option. Move on. I would have said we got to get rid of Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. We'll get rid of our whole coaching staff. We ain't getting rid of it.
Speaking of trading good dudes from Europe, Nico Harrison. He is the GM of the Dallas Mavs. Yeah. Of course, they got rid of Luka Doncic this year, traded him away midseason. A lot of fans in Dallas felt away about that, but they lucked out. They got the number 1 pick in the draft, and they took Cooper Flagg, the number 1 pick. They got blessed with let's let Nico Harrison tell you how special Cooper Flagg is.
Exciting night for the Dallas Mavericks franchise, for the fans, for the city of Dallas. We're just super excited being able to get Cooper. It's generational talent, once in a lifetime chance, and so we're just top to bottom. We're excited.
Once in a lifetime. Other than when you traded the guy away. That was also a once in a lifetime. Like, this man either really, really hates Luka Doncic, or he just loves trolling these fans who, to be fair, the fans have been extremely critical of him, so maybe he's just having fun with this. I don't know.
His worst thing is he say when after he traded Luka, he didn't know what he meant to Dallas? Like, he didn't know he was that tied.
I didn't know this many people would care. It's kind of what the vibe was.
He's one of those guys, man, that he's trying to be innovative, and it's one of those things that, like, you flirting with it. He better pray to whoever he believe in that this Cooper Flagg comes to save the season, because if it blows up in his face, he's gonna go down as the worst general manager ever.
Well, he had another statement too, where he was asked about, hey, you got the first overall pick. That was a nice bit of luck, right? Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I was extremely surprised. All my draft prep up to that point was, us being in the 11th position. So that's just, but, things happen. Fortune favors the bold. So exciting things fell our way.
Fortune favors the bold.
The more he talks, the more it is. It's hard to root for him a little bit. It's like you kind of want it to happen to him a little bit.
Right, it's just like, what are we doing here?
I don't really wish bad on people, but I kind of want him to just a little bit. He need a little humble pie, just a little bit.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Cooper Flagg and that franchise, but did fortune favor the bold? You were very bold when you made some of these moves. Kyrie Irving blew out his knee, right?
Yes.
So was that fortune favoring you? I'm not expecting such a stupid statement.
I'm not expecting them to come out this year and be contenders this season. No. However, next season, you can sell me on that.
Yeah. By the way, maybe you doubt that the Dallas Mavericks will be a contender next year. Or maybe you think they'll go win the title. Maybe you want to place some kind of wager on a futures bet in basketball. Guess what? You can do that with Prime Sportsbook Ohio. They are offering a welcome deposit.
Deposit.
What is it called? Deposit. Welcome deposit. Hey! Welcome deposit match offer up to $400. You put in the money. If it's $10, if it's $100, if it's up to $400, they will match that number in bonus bets for you in your account. those bonus bets will last a year. So you can place the wager now. You can wait a few months and place a wager, like I said, on a basketball futures bet, on a football bet, whatever you want to do. It's all there for you with Prime Sportsbook. You can download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit primesportsbook.com to get started today. Additional terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and older and present in Ohio. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Please play responsibly. I don't know. I would fade the Mavs is what I'm going to say. Fade the Mavs. I think it's going to take him a couple years for Cooper Flagg to find his footing.
Him? No, the only person you should fade is Klay Thompson. Whatever his point, if you want any betting advice from me, whatever Klay Thompson's over-under is, always take the under.
Yeah.
Fade Klay. Hashtag.
Yeah. I mean, he's a little.
Klay.
I think it's time. He's a little past his prime now. Not past his prime sportsbook, just past his prime. So you got to keep working the sponsoring. I don't know. I feel like Cooper Flagg's going to take a couple years to turn into, what was it he was compared to by Kendrick Perkins?
Oh, my goodness.
LeBron and Kevin Garnett.
You know, I seen last night somebody said Kawhi Leonard. I swear, Kawhi Leonard. I said.
He seems like he's going to be awesome.
This got to stop. Like, I hope he does. But why can't we just let it play out first before we just, because you're putting a lot on it. Like, you really gassing this guy.
Oh, well, dude.
He's a CWB, though.
I don't know if you've met. A cold white boy.
Yes.
That's what a CWB is. Got it. Blue Jackets GM Don Waddell spoke to the media. We'll tell you what he said next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Friday. We have a new crash alert that we want to tell you about over on the west side here. This is just north of Lincoln Village, I-70 westbound, just past Hilliard Rome Road South, and we have a right shoulder blocked out there. According to our traffic cam, 70 at Cole Road, we do see a car in the grassy median right there. Police just arriving to the scene. That is some good news for this Friday. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina. It's boat season at Buckeye Lake Marina. Largest new and used boat inventory in the 3-county region. Details and more at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
Hi, this is Bob Mashetter from Dick Mashetter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at mashetterford.net. Thanks.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
Every time Tyvis laughs, take a drink. Just kidding. You'd be dead in 30 seconds. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Tell you what, if you want to have some fun with the family, I've got a 4-pack of tickets to the Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals, July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center. It's over 6,000 classic cars, beautiful hot rods. They're all going to be out there. It's a great thing every summer. If you've never been, this is a fantastic year for you to check it out for the first time. Visit good-guys.com if you want more info. But I'll give away a 4-pack of tickets right now to Tyvis. Pick a number. What number do you want to do?
I'm going to go with 5.
All right. Caller number 5, 614-821-9710. Caller number 5 gets the 4-pack of tickets to Good Guys to go check all that out. We know it's been a thing. We've been talking about it all day. Tonight is the NHL draft. Coverage starts here on the Fan at 6. We will have your Blue Jackets draft special brought to you by Ohio Health. Bob McElligott, Dylan Tyre will be live from Nationwide Arena to cover whatever's going to go on and talk about, break it all down, all the different moves. Jackets have options because they have 2 first-round picks. They have a ton of cap space. They have a ton of young, good players. They obviously have some, decisions to make about unrestricted free agents and restricted free agents as well. But all that's going to play in. And I think this Jackets team is going to be in a very good spot tonight. I don't know if they're making both the picks or not, but they are going to be doing everything in their power to try to improve this roster. So tonight, my hope is that we start to get some clarity on what and how that's going to work. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that we come out of this saying, all right, there's a chance tonight you get a right defenseman that could actually pair with Zach Werenski as that top guy. And I think that would be something that fully and hopefully could be happening tonight.
You know what a successful night would be?
What's that?
They get a right defenseman, probably not whenever. And then they also announced the signing of Mitch.
They're in on Mitch Marner.
they do that.
I hope it happens.
This town will go insane. You ever seen the movie Old School?
I've seen the movie Old School.
We're going to go streaking.
You're my boy, Blue.
We're going to go streaking. They announced
first, Tyvis. Go right ahead. You can go right ahead and start that trend. I'll be right behind you.
There's going to be a whole line of us.
It'll be on the news tonight. Tyvis Powell, former Buckeye, noted golfer. It's another SportsCenter top 10 for you. Here's Don Waddell yesterday in his press conference heading into this draft weekend, talking about what he thinks about both pick 14 and pick 20 when it comes to dealing those picks. Do teams want those picks, given that they're not like top 5 picks? Here's what he had to say.
No, I think it could be a big part of a deal. People talk about drafts not being strong and weak, and I don't look at it that way. You might not have the Sabrinis and some of the top end guys, but players are going to play. The difference in this draft, you might take a player at 14 that other teams have 25. I think everybody agrees that the top 7 guys are going to go 1 through 7 in some order. But after that, the guy that goes 8, we might have 20th on our list. Doesn't mean they're not going to play. It doesn't mean it's a bad draft. It's just after that first group of players, there's certainly a drop off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's any big secret, but as he talked about, there's going to be a different variance in who these teams want, what they value. I tend to think if the Jackets move one of these picks tonight, if they don't end up taking both of them, I think they're moving them in combination with maybe a goalie contract that they would like to move on from. That could be a possibility.
Is goalies a position that gets taken in the first round?
I mean, I guess, yeah, if there's a guy that's good enough. I don't think that's like every year that happens, but I think there's usually like 1 or 2 guys that get taken fairly early.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's
so
something
so if the Blue Jackets took a goalie with one of their first round picks, how would you feel about that?
I mean,
how would the fan base feel about that?
I don't think that's going to help. Like, here's where I'm at. I want whatever the Jackets are going to do this weekend and into free agency and all of this next couple weeks. I want it to be stuff that helps the team next year on the ice, not stuff that helps you in 2 years and 3 years. And if you draft a goalie, I feel like there's a very good chance that guy's not going to play for you or start for you in the upcoming season. Now, later on in the draft, they may do something like that just because they need to fill in and help have some guys in development. I know they've got talented guys in the pipeline. That's been a key thing for the Jackets over the last few years. They have built up this system. They do have a lot of prospects out there. But now you have plenty of those prospects who've come up, hit the main roster, are actually good enough to stick, and some of them you have to re-sign. One of those guys that already we're getting talks about, Adam Fantilli.
What about him?
Well, just make it. You have to start discussing an extension with Adam Fantilli.
I thought you were talking about trading him. I was going to be like, no, that dude.
Well, but because you've drafted well and you've had some good luck with that, and also you've developed some of these players, now you're going to have to think about, all right, we want to make sure these guys don't go anywhere. Here's what Don Waddell had to say about Adam Fantilli and just early discussions with him about getting an extension.
I will talk to him. I can't tell you it's going to be July 1st, but we'll talk this summer for sure. I mean, it's the interesting part, and these are the hardest deals to get done for long term because of obviously the short window the players had. The good thing is his agent has always done a lot of deals with him, and he'll see the market probably the same way we are. We might not, we may have to do a short-term bridge deal in the meantime. But it'll get done. It's just a matter of time. It's not that important just yet, but it'll come this summer.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if over the next few months we start to hear more and more about that. But yeah, you don't want Adam Fantilli going anywhere other than staying right here.
Well, it's only
Union Blue.
There's only, I think, 3 Wolverines that I'll root for.
Okay.
He's one. Zach Wierenski's the other one. And Kent Johnson's the last one.
Good to know that the Browns' first-round pick, you are not rooting for him.
No, not at all. Not at all. As a matter of fact, he's paired next to a Buckeye, and I hope Mike Hall outshines him every play.
That's right. I like that. By the way, on the Jackets front, too, one of the guys to keep an eye on, there have been a lot of rumors about this guy, Rasmus Andersson from the Calgary Flames. They've been trying to work on getting a deal done with him, but it hasn't worked out. He is one of those defensemen that if you wanted to pair someone with Zach Werenski, he would be a prime candidate to do it. He's 27 years old. He's a good player. He's got a year left on his contract. It's an annual value of $4.6 million. So you could just trade outright for him, but the idea is probably you'd have to sign him to a new deal potentially too. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Noah Dobson of the Islanders is another guy that's in a similar boat where he apparently, Noah Dobson for the Islanders, another defenseman, wants $10 million per year on an extension. I don't think the Jackets are likely to do that, but like we talked about with the CBJ, they have so much cap room. Now they have to save some of it for guys like Adam Fantilli, right? That eventually you're going to have to re-sign, but they have enough cap room to make moves like this. I'm not saying that's the move I would make. He's 25 years old. He is a decent defenseman. $10 million a year, even with the increase in cap space, that's a tough deal. But if you think he's worth it, these are the type of moves I'm just saying keep an eye out
I
for.
told you there's only one player that's worth that.
Who is that again?
we going to call him money-making Mitch. That's what we going to call him, money-making Mitch.
That's right.
They sign him. I'm going to be at their front row on the glass.
You should be out there anyway, no matter who they get, because this team is good. We got to get you. Have you ever sat glass at a hockey game?
No.
You know what? Overrated seat.
What?
Yes.
You don't like being on the glass?
Here's why.
I want to push the glass. I seen it on the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, you can.
We will quack you.
Yeah. I don't think that chant works at Nationwide, but you could try it. The issue with being that low on the glass, because I've been fortunate enough to sit there once or twice.
Look at you.
When it's right in front of you, it's awesome because you can see everything so close. You get a sense of just how big and strong and fast these guys are and like the power it takes to play in the NHL. It is something to behold. And then when the puck goes 10 feet away from you, up the side, goodbye. Can't see it. Because of the glass,
no,
that
hard it is to see the first of all, you always lose the puck. I don't care.
No,
where you sit.
but I'm saying you can't see because the way the glass is like curved and turned, and if you're sitting there on the side or even on the sitting on the end is not bad because then you can see the whole ice in front of you. But if you're on the side down by the glass, when they're in front of you, it's great. But when they go up the side and go to the other end, it is very tough to see because of the way that glass sits. So
you know what, T-Bone,
I'd rather see the game.
You've aged. Eyes is just not what they used to be. I think that's what it is. I think I'd see it just fine.
My old eyes. That's exactly right. All right, we will come back. It is time to hit the buzzer next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We are still closely monitoring a crash happening in our southeast area, just past Lancaster and past Canal Winchester this morning. This is US 33 eastbound, right at Columbus Lancaster Road. One lane is still open at this hour because of a crash. Make sure to take it nice and easy on the roads for your Friday commute. I'm 10 TV's Brina Albizu with your fan traffic.
Colin Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain inter-office emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the Memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I've been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
10 West Broad, Columbus. CordellCordell.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Must be the love.
There's so much to love in Ohio because the heart-shaped state is the heart of adventure with 76 free state parks, amusement parks, ballparks, and more. The heart of opportunity with great jobs and a low cost of living. Ohio is the heart of it all. Follow your heart at ohio.org.
Sponsored by Tourism Ohio and aired by this station.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
What does summer bring to mind? Lazy days by the pool? Hot dogs on the grill? How about large, sweaty men putting work in to defend their national title? Yes! Your summer home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
All power, zero compromise. Eagle cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From mowers and trimmers to blowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it's the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
2 men with 5 combined offspring. None of them have penises. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Now joining us, one of the 3 hosts of Bishop and Friends. He is Ryan Baker. Bake, good to see you, buddy. Big day for the Jackets, and you are as big of a Jackets fan as I know in this building. You ready for this?
I'm pretty pumped. I'm ready for it. I got to tell you, though, I feel bad for you guys.
Why?
Because this is the 3rd time this week you've had to deal with me.
No, that's
Usually
great.
you just get me on Mondays. 3 times this week.
Making you work this week.
We're actually thinking of renaming this segment. Instead of the buzzer, it's the Baker is what we're going to call it, and just have you on every day. I think that'd be a great move.
I mean, because that's the ending of the show, and usually when I'm around, it ends whatever's going on. So,
listen, I ran my Mitch Mariner to him.
Mitch Marner, yes.
excuse
him
me,
too.
to
and
him.
Mitch Mariner, yeah, my guy.
He's on board, but he does have a counter to what I'm saying. But he said if they did sign him, it would be he's going to go with me streaking. We're going to go streaking around Columbus.
I mean, I'd probably go streaking with you for less, but listen, nobody's ever going to say no, right, to a guy that's a perennial 100-point-a-year player, one of the probably top 15 guys in the NHL. Like, nobody's going to say no to that. I just know there's a price to that. And I also know there's a pecking order that maybe he wouldn't want to come here. So, yeah, pipe dream.
What's wrong with Columbus?
There's nothing wrong with Columbus, and people come here and they love it, and they want to stay. Carlos Lachlan bought a house, for goodness sake, in Columbus. Never bought one anywhere else, but he bought one here because it's so good.
So Mitch needs to just he needs to get in town and see it.
I'm not arguing with you on that. I just know, for me personally, and I know the salary cap's going up, I'm a big Brock Besser guy. He's a guy you throw in on the right wing. You're going to get 30 goals a year. He's pretty strong defensively. Is he Mitch Marner? No. But he's also not going to cost you $14 million. Then I can add other pieces as well. If we get Marner, I'm going to be tickled pink. I'm going to be as happy as anyone.
Oh, yeah.
But Brock Besser has always been kind of the guy that I've zeroed in on that I would like personally.
No, I'm hoping that with the way the Jackets are building, it's adding pieces that are expensive but affordable. They have a ton of cap room that they can work with. They also have a ton of young players that are going to need contracts at some point. So, yeah, I mean, I think you have to keep that in mind, too, as you're making plans for the future. If you're signing guys to $10 million a year deals like the defenseman from the Islanders that I know that they...
Which Dobson would be great.
Dobson, sure, but that's an expensive contract if you think he's worth it at 25.
But we're talking about anyone. Like, we want a top guy. Like Dante Fabro did admirable this year,
right, with
Zach Werenski on that top pair. But you're talking about a true bona fide right shot defenseman, whoever that is. You're paying at least $8 million.
Yeah,
like you mentioned, Anderson, you would have
to
to re-up. Here's the nice thing: you just talked about the Blue Jackets with the future and re-signing guys, and Don Waddell talked about an extension for Fantilli the other day. We talk about the salary cap going up this year to 95. In the next couple, it's going up to 109. So that's going to help. Yeah. That's going to help the Jackets a lot here when Marchenko's 3-year deal is up, Johnson's 3-year deal is up. This contract extension with Fantilli, and let's not forget, Zach's contract only has a couple years left on it. Well, he'll be needing a new deal soon.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy how those things sneak up on you, right?
That's why you just go for it now. You just sign Mitch, and then we can
listen. If it happens, Tyvis. Me and you, whatever you want to do, we're doing it.
You know what? I'll join in. I don't think anybody wants to see it, but I'll let's go. We'll make it happen.
971, the streaking
it's gonna
race.
I'll tell you, Ty, it's going to be like a reverse Oreo out there. We're going to make it happen.
We will
That'll be a lot of fun.
We would make it
Me and Baker and you.
Is that one of the Oreos dipped in white chocolate?
Me and Baker on the outside, you in the middle, baby. Let's go. It'll be quite the scene. We'll have some fun with that.
Common man will never be more jealous in his life.
That's right. So you've got today, I assume, a lot of Jackets conversation on deck. I presume some Jackets guests as well. Who do you guys have?
Yeah, we're going to have Aaron Portzline, who covers the Jackets for The Athletic. He actually had a great article come out this morning about 7 o'clock about what the Jackets want to do, need to do this offseason. And hopefully, they made a couple moves yesterday. Hopefully today, though, is the kickstart of all of that. We'll also have, it's Friday, so we're going to have Tim May on. He's going to digress about something at 10:30, I'm sure.
Oh, Tim May loves...
Dave Biddle in today, by the way.
Yeah,
How can I forget that? Our guy Bids is going to be in here.
That'll be fun.
I thought it was Bedell.
Sometimes I'll say Bedell. That's a good one.
Mr.
Bedell.
Yeah. He's on there. He's always doing the gambling show with Scotty Vegas on Sundays, too. So
that's called On the Money, I
That's
believe.
right. Yeah, they've got a lot going on for him this weekend. So that'll be fun. All right. Looking forward to 3 hours with you guys, hearing all about the Jackets conversation as well. We've got draft show tonight starting at 6. It's all full day of a lot of hopefully positive things for the CBJ coming up here on the Fan. But now it's time for the buzzer. Let's do it.
Shove it down your throat.
It's time for the buzzer.
Sponsored by Getchy's Amish Country Furnishings in Dublin. AmishCountryFurnishings.com.
How do either of you guys feel about Formula One? Watch any Formula One? Check in on Formula One?
So they came out with the game on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I played it one time, and I realized it's not for me.
Did you have the thumb controls? You didn't have like a steering wheel,
No,
right?
I didn't have no steering wheel.
See, it's super hard to drive those cars anyway, but on the video game with the little thumb things, you can't do it.
I couldn't get the car around. I kept slamming into the boards. It was sad.
Yeah, it's rough. What about you, Baker?
I know who Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen are, but that's about it. That's all my Formula One knowledge.
Well, the F1 people, this is a big weekend for them because Brad Pitt starring in a new movie. The F1 movie comes out this weekend, and some bad news for Brad Pitt because he was, overseas, been everywhere promoting this movie. It's a global thing, right? Formula One's beloved globally. They're releasing this movie everywhere. Well, while he was out doing all this press, apparently someone noticed and said, great, so he's not home. I shall rob him. Brad Pitt's home in Los Angeles ransacked by a trio of thieves. The suspects broke into his home on Wednesday night through a front window, and they said they ransacked it, according to the police. They did not confirm that the home belonged to Brad Pitt, but the address matched the one that Brad Pitt purchased in 2023. They said the suspects fled with stolen items. So I guess if you go on eBay or some secondary market and find stuff that pertains to Brad Pitt movies, you may know, hey, that's stolen goods. Maybe don't purchase it.
I blame social media.
Yeah.
We be putting our location on vacation. Hey, down in Miami. Hey, my place is wide open.
I find it hard to believe, though, that Brad Pitt doesn't have somebody at it, because Brad Pitt's probably not at his home very often.
You got to have people.
At least half of the year he's not there. I find it hard to believe he doesn't have people that are there taking care of the grounds, kind of like you do, Tyvis. Like every time when you head up to Cleveland, I know you've got Cardell back at the house watching things.
Yeah,
so.
Cardell will definitely do his rounds, but my family is there, so it's not like the house is sat there with nobody in it. I don't do vacations, so therefore you can forget about it. If my name is on your list, just forget about it because I'm there. Just forget about it.
You ain't getting Tyvis's love sack.
I ain't got nothing for you.
No, I know you don't.
If you robbing me, you just doing it for practice because I ain't got nothing for you. You steal my lemonade, I'm going to jail.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe Brad Pitt shouldn't post that stuff on social media. I also feel like when Brad Pitt is out, people are aware that he's gone because he's Brad Pitt and everything he does is kind of notified. But yeah, I'm with you, Baker. I'm surprised he didn't have
somebody
some kind of
fired.
Security there.
Somebody got fired for slacking.
Maybe he thought he had security and they were like, yeah, the place is good. And then
Inside
it turns
job.
out he got robbed. Yeah, that's not great. All right. It is Bishop and Friends next. I hope you guys have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. We will find out what the Jackets did on draft night and talk about it all next week right here on The Fan. We'll see you Monday. It's T-Bone and Tyvis on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Friday. Right now, still the main concern is going to be for folks over on the west side. We are noticing a disabled vehicle on 70 eastbound, just beyond State Route 142, Plain City. A right lane is blocked because of this. So taking a closer look at our time saver traffic maps here, 70 and east of State Route 142, definitely noticing some slowdowns there. And looking at our traffic cams this morning, we do have police on scene. A semi-truck is involved. Make sure to take it nice and slow on this Friday. I'm 10 TV's Brina Albizu with your fan traffic.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina. Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Used car prices are sky high. Families paying top dollar today. Don't waste time selling it yourself. Any car, any truck, any year, we want it now. No games, no waiting, just cash. Get to Valley before the market drops.
ValleySuperstore.com.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up.
Going up.
But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button.
Going down.
We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40. Period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the Shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab single game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
When you get ECO to fix your HVAC system,
we give you back all the money you paid us to repair that old system.
When you finally need to buy a new one from us,
up to $1,500.
Get ECO.
ECO. All those extra years of service for free.
On me.
GetEco.com.
Brought to you by the Capital One Saver Card. With Saver, you earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, and at grocery stores. That's unlimited cash back on ordering takeout from home or unlimited cash back on tickets to concerts and games. So grab a bite, grab a seat, and earn unlimited 3% cash back with the Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Evan Cohen here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows, binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th,